Today we're going to take a hike to the native twin arches, privately owned arches here in the Red River Gorge. I haven't made this hike for a couple months now. I guess I was here a few months back, but this hike always brings back childhood memories. I was growing up here. This is family owned, private property in the gorge. Right here is the house that my great uncle lived in, and it's also, when they was logging here, the Dana Lumber Company also had workers to stay in this house back in the early 1900s. It's ran down now, you know, he's been gone 20 plus years, but y'all might be a little interested in it. But people that logged in the gorge back in the day stayed in this house at one time. But we're gonna get on up here and I'll get some video of the arches, big arch and the little arch, otherwise known as the Big Lighthouse and the Little Lighthouse to the people here in Nada. We all grew up, we always called it the Big Lighthouse and the Little Lighthouse. Also probably will go by our ancestors' name. It's the D-Hart Shelter, Indian Cave, known as the D-Hart Shelter. They dug in it. UK did back in the 30s. We have stuff on, did have stuff on display at University of Kentucky that found in the shelter. There's 2 hominy holes in that shelter. I'll show you them a little later on when we get up there. But this is John with Barker Outdoor Adventures. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video. Have a lot of different videos coming in the future. But once I get started at the Big Lighthouse, or the Big Twin Arch, I will start recording again and get back with you. So see you in a few. Here we are, we're back with Barker's Outdoor Adventures. Right here is the Big Arch, Twin Arch, native Twin Arch, or the Big Lighthouse. You can't see it because the mountain laurel's hiding it right there in front of me, but we're ready to make our way up to it right now. There's a nice little shelter right above the arch on the D-Hart Dawson side of the property. Used to stay there many a night growing up as a kid, camping out here. This is one of my favorite places to camp growing up. Here we are coming into the arch. This is the native Twin Arches, also known as the Big Lighthouse to all the locals. Spent many a nights camping as a kid up here, sleeping right here on this rock ledge. I always slept right there most of the time. We small camping, smaller kids camping out up here. It's a beautiful view. There's also another arch kind of up on top of this. I'll take you around and take you up on it. Right there if you can see it or not. Zoom in on it. Is one of the first cabins I ever built. Built that thing probably around 18 years ago to 20 years ago. My mom and dad owned all that property on that side of the cliff. My mom's family still owns all the property on this side. It's an heirs, DeHart Dawson heirs. All this is private property. This place brings back a lot of memories growing up as a kid. We used to stay up here all the time in the summers. Used to deer hunt a lot up here. Growing up, still deer hunt up here from time to time. Here's another one of my favorite places to camp. Growing up as a kid here in Nada. It's a little hard to get to it. Hard to find. But it's directly above the big arch. There it is. We used to camp here a lot as a kid growing up. Just a beautiful place here in this rock ledge. And about right there is the smaller arch, or the little lighthouse that's known by locals. And right up here in this holler is a Indian cave, the locals call it, and it would be the DeHart shelter, probably in the books. But we'll go over here into the little lighthouse both in a few minutes. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you the arch here on top of the big arch, the smaller arch. Then we'll get back to the woods hiking again. All right, we're coming up on the second arch that I was going to show you today here on this private property. And we'll be looking at 3 different arches today during this hike. Here we are at another arch here. This is directly right above the big arch. It's a nice little arch. Used to come here a lot as a kid. I ain't been here in a few years. But it's just got amazing views. Property there. A lot of people's never seen these arches because they're on private property. Again, this is the arch right above the big arch of the native twin arches. Here is the big lighthouse, otherwise known is native twin arch. Alrighty, we'll be leaving the native twin arches and going over to the D-Heart shelter. And I'll show you a couple hominy hoes inside that shelter when I get there. We'll get back with you in a few minutes when we get over there. Heading off through the woods, making our way that way now. Back with you in a few. Here we are, approaching the Steve D-Heart shelter. Otherwise, the people here local in the area is the Indian Cave. There are 2 hominy hoes in here. They're right up here in that black hole above. You can't really tell. I'll show you in a minute. There are some drawings or carvings inside a rock and back in the hole. I don't know if they're man-made or Indian-made, but they've been there ever since I was a kid. Ever since I can remember, they've been in there. They're actually right in there. We'll have to climb up there and look at it in a minute. We'll make our way on up here real quick to the shelter. It's been a few years since I've been here, actually. There it is. Nice big shelter. Here's one of the hominy hoes the Indians made for grounding nuts and stuff. Bunch of flint stuff. People's been up here looking for things. Pretty good sized shelter. It does right back here in this point. It does open up. It goes back around to the right to get down and crawl back in there. Right up here is that second hominy hole in this shelter. Indians must have used this a whole lot back in the day. This hominy hole here is all the way through the rock. Nice piece of shelter. But they've used that so much. You can stick your hand. When I was a kid, with that hominy hoe all the way through the rock there. This is kind of another part of the shelter. But I'm gonna go on up. The main shelter is there and show you those drawings inside above, and then we'll make our way over to the little lighthouse or smaller arch of the native twin arches. Get back with you in a few. We're going right up there. Alrighty, here we are. I'll show you the Indian writing. It's in this shelter. You have to go out. It's right on top of the shelter. You have to kind of know where it's at, how to get here to get to it. I showed y'all down below, dark ledge. It was down there a while ago. We'll get down here and get to it. Here we are, some little crevices. There's kind of like another little arch right here. You want to call it that, I guess. Walk around here. There's the shelter and stuff down below. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. It's been a few years since I've been inside this place also. There's kind of some of the markings. Stuff here. Been several years since I've been in here. It's a neat little place for an Indian to sit here in right above the shelter and just watch out. A good lookout. Beautiful, beautiful sight. Scenery above the shelter. Then right there is the little lighthouse or Twin Arch. We'll get back with you in a few. Thanks for watching. All right, here we are coming up on the little lighthouse. You probably wouldn't even know it was here if you didn't know it was here, but our ancestors had it blocked off years ago and had it to house tobacco and things in. Steve DeHart even dug it out a few times to make it a little bigger, but here it is. There we go through it. The little lighthouse. Spent many a days growing up here as a kid. Right through that country. This is actually where Steve DeHart's cabin sat. Beautiful here. There it is looking back the other way. Beautiful, amazing pictures. Here. There's like another little lighthouse or a little arch it sets out. I'll go over there and get you a little more video of it. We're at the little lighthouse, otherwise known as the Native Twin Arch. There's a little arch with it also. Separates it. This is the bigger side. There we go through the lighthouse on the other side. Just a beautiful place. Steve DeHart's cabin sat right through there. We'll go through this side real fast. And show you this side of it. Coming in. So we've been right over there to the big lighthouse today. We've been back in there to the Indian cave today, and we've been right over there to the little lighthouse today. This is just a beautiful cliff line and scenery. I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and if you would, like and subscribe to Barker's Outdoor Adventures and come along with us for a lot of other hikes and homesteading and adventures to come. A lot more adventures. We're going to go kayaking some and looking for bottles in the creek and looking for arrowheads. Just get out in the outdoors and enjoy it. Enjoy it with your family if you can. Just coming up here today brings back a lot of memories. And I was up here growing up as a kid 25, 30 years ago. And it seems like that's just been a snap of your finger. Time's gone. My oldest daughter is 22 years old now. And you just need to get out and enjoy the outdoors and places that you was when you was a kid, grew up at, just places that you've never been. Remember to like, subscribe, and share to Barker's Outdoor Adventures. We appreciate you. Talk to you later. Look here, Mel. You probably don't know what that is, but that's sassafras roots for your mom. I told her the next time that I come up here in the woods at the DeHart Dawson property that I would bring her back some sassafras. That's what we've done. I got her some today. Bring it out to her. She can make her some sassafras tea.